What is up, Streamland? I am Jay Rosario from Unstoppable Comics, hanging out with everybody tonight at Comic Book Streamland to talk about comics and with other creators who have quite a bit of experience. So I'm going to bring them on before I bring out the topic of the night. I hope everybody's doing well, and thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Our first man up of the evening is Marvin.
Why do I always got to be first all the time? Like you
Why
just
not?
like throw me up there out of nowhere, dropping a rock on my head. It's all good. You know,
You're the first one in the queue. I'll go down the line, bro.
it's always me. It's a Marvin Wynn, writer and creator of The Edge. Sweating here in Comicsburg, man. It's hot. But, like I thought we were done with this 90-degree weather. Now it's back again, and I don't like it.
No way, baby.
I'm hating on the weather right now.
I mean, we're in the summer. it's gonna kick in, It's gonna kick in.
I don't like it.
Somebody who went from something cool to maybe something fucking hot in the West Coast. What's up, kid?
What's up, everybody? George Medina, creator and writer of The Adventures of Wonder Duck and Russ 5377. I also have a podcast that I do with my buddy Sam Vera entitled Catch the Craze, where we interview indie creators, and we also talk about the do's and don'ts of indie publishing. I also have a YouTube channel called Get Your Meds, so check that out. And yeah, man, I'm in the West Coast where it's 101 degrees right now, and it's 6 o'clock in the evening. Yeah, so I'm inside, nice and cool, but yeah, hanging out. So I've been meaning to come on the show, and I never can come on a Saturday. But here I am. So
I'm excited. I'm excited you're here with us. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? You stroke my ego by coming on. It makes me feel good. Makes me feel good, brother. You're looking good with that new body too, man. I'm jealous, bro.
Thanks.
You knocked off some pounds. You're looking good. I can see the dimples.
Wow. Let's not make it awkward. That's cool. This is awesome. Right.
I mean, I can eat salads for 3 years and I'm still good. I look bigger than this. So, and then we got somebody else who knows how to stay cool in this kind of weather because he has a lake that he owns.
It's ungodly. It's 75 with a breeze. I don't know what I'm supposed to do at all.
I hate you so much. You get those cross northern winds coming over the lake.
I can see the wind. It's blowing the trees around. I mean, I don't know what's happening.
I live on the 6th floor, and you figure, we get that cross breeze somewhere up here. No, it just bakes. It's like, the heat burns the wind before it even gets that high. And it's just like, God damn it. So it is what it is, guys. It's the summertime, man. It is perfect con season. Baby, come on. It's ripe. It's ripe out there. Conventions are going on. Cosplay is heavy. People are wearing the wrong gear, and somebody I guess is suffering.
They're getting ready to have the furry convention here in Pittsburgh. So,
furry convention. Wow.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's like the wrong time of year to plan the furry convention?
Beginning of July, yeah.
It's the same time every year, and people show up for it, and the city makes a lot of money off of it. So,
I mean, come on.
Is it normally that hot in Pittsburgh at this time, though, Marv? Or is it?
Okay. Well, not 90, 9900, but it's usually 87, 88, and like it's a city with not a lot of trees, so.
No, really?
Yeah, the heat off the pavement, man. Especially downtown. Like, there's not a lot of foliage down there.
Oh, I didn't know that at all, man. I didn't know that at all. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Last time I drove through Pittsburgh, I saw all these caverns. You know what I mean? I drove through mines and shit, and I was just like, they're protected from the sun, but I guess not, brother. I guess not, man. God damn, bro. All right. It is what it is. It is what it is. We're home, right? We got AC pumping. We got fans pumping. And I'm glad I'm not in the heat right now for a little while during the day, right? I feel bad for people who are going to be at San Diego in a few weeks.
All right, that's in a few weeks. San Diego's usually nice, though.
San Diego, you're right on the water water, dude. You're fine.
Yeah.
Really?
It might get up to the 80s, but it's ocean breeze. You know, it's
Okay.
Absolutely.
San Diego's always good.
It's gorgeous weather.
Okay. Outside.
Yeah.
Okay. What about inside where the body heat is
Well,
generated?
inside is hell. I mean, inside is hell. That's
Body
the reality. Yeah. You know,
Right.
300,000 people wandering around a convention hall. It's hell.
Really? They get that high?
Well, I mean, they talk about that number like over the whole weekend because it's 5 days out there. It's Wednesday to Sunday. So
You never been, Jay? I thought you've been out there.
I've never been, dude. I was invited to go and be on a boat.
Wow. Okay.
And, I'm like, but it's not the main sales floor. Why would I want to be on a boat? You know, in the back. That doesn't do anything for me. So whatever. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's the New Yorker.
such a closed-minded thinking, Jay.
Really? You think so?
You want to put someone that got it? Listen, I'll take his place. Whoever's got the boat, like
Really?
I'll come be on the boat.
All right, because I mean, I was looking at it logistically. I was like, the flight, you know, the hotel 7 miles away because nobody could get anything close, and 7 miles away at a premium. Would it have been worth it? And shipping all that stuff out there, would I have been able to make my money back? Right? I could go gangbusters at New York Comic Con because it's my backyard. You know, I'm not paying lodging. I'm
But
not
you're
paying
not
travel
on
expenses.
a boat.
I'm not on a boat. Right.
The
Right.
boat is the selling point here. Get your ass on the boat.
No way, brother. No way, man. Shit. I'm gonna stay away from that.
You can just get on the boat, turn your phone on, and start selling for the weekend online. And you know, look, I'm on a boat. That's the whole thing.
Okay, you're gonna be there this year, aren't you, Tom?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I thought you said you were last.
No, I decided to back out. I'm in the process of fulfilling 3 fucking Kickstarters right now. So I'm like, no, I'm going to be dead by the time this comes around. And I told him today, I appreciate the invitation, but I have to bow out. And they were like, that's cool. Just, you know, if you want to come next year, come. And I'm like, yeah, next year's my 15-year anniversary for the company as it is. So 100% I'm going to be there in some capacity, whether we get our own booth or whether I partner with them. One way or another, we'll be there next year.
Cool. Okay. I'm a little upset that you chose San Diego over New York Comic Con, the best
Always choose San Diego over New York.
place in the world.
It's not. I mean, that's
Bro,
the easiest choice ever.
I know New York is the best, bro.
Oh my god!
Why would you choose?
Do you know when I leave the convention hall at San Diego and I go into the gas lamp district? Do you know what I don't see on the sidewalk?
What
is piles of fucking trash everywhere?
Yeah, bro. Come on, man. That's wrong. That's
It's
like
not-
me saying
that's
I'm
real,
going to your
is what
lake,
that is.
and all I
It's
see are oil
real.
slicks from the diesel, engines out there, brother. Come on, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh man,
It's New York City. George and me had a great time at the convention last year.
we did.
Right?
But I got to tell you, I'm from New York. I live in New York. Love New York. But if I had to choose New York and San Diego, bro, I'm going to San Diego, dude. I gotta go to. Dude, you never been, Jay. You got to go. You have to go. It's the weather alone, dude. The weather alone.
It's like I've told people. I grew up in California, so I've told people when I left California, the only thing I left was the weather, and it has very little other redeemable qualities outside of if you're going to like Magic Mountain or Universal Studios, Disneyland. Go do your vacation and then get the fuck out of Dodge because it's a disaster of a state, but the weather is amazing basically at all times.
George, you hurt me. You heard me.
Jay, I'm just keeping it real. If I had to choose, if you made
George, you would go on the boat.
I'd go on the boat. I'm going on the boat, bro. You know what I mean?
You know what it is? You know what just happened, brother? Okay. What? Johnny C and his Boston mindset has infected you. And it's trying to get you.
What happens is George and I just became best friends. That's what happened.
I love Johnny C, bro, but I'm not. Boston has nothing to do with it. It's about the fact that, like Tom said, that weather, dude. I'm telling you, when it's 70 degrees in like July out there sometimes, because I remember the last time I went, it was gorgeous. It was just the sun was out, sky is blue. You know what I mean? It's beautiful, dude. It's beautiful. So
Uh-huh.
you got to go, dude. You got to go. You only by going will you know what we're talking
It's a
about.
different
right?
world. It is a different
Absolutely.
world. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is.
And somebody who's in a different world from all of us will refuse to do conventions from today until the day he dies.
Mhm.
Is Calderon. What's up, kid?
Yo, what's up, guys? Sorry, I just got back from doing some shopping, so I'm running a little late. But I'll eventually do another show at some point. And San Diego is very, very nice.
See, there you go.
San Diego is very, very nice. I mean, are we comparing just cities, or are we comparing shows?
Oh, both.
What are we comparing?
Both.
Both.
We'll say that New York Comic Con is a better con from a comic book standpoint, 100%.
Yeah.
Because San Diego is just literally pop culture world. It's there's a gigantic Star Wars pavilion in there. Like it's a movie town. It's Hollywood.
Uh-huh.
Well, but
New
the thing
York
is,
has
though,
some of that, but it's still very Comic Con. That Artist Alley alone in New York is mind-blowingly, crazy.
well, but the thing is, though, is in San Diego, though, they had like the small publishers area, and there was a small press area,
Sure.
right? Area I really appreciated because it was a small press area because it was maybe 100 tables, right? That one area is like a mini convention in and of itself within the con.
Sure.
And small pressers can get into. You're not fighting with the guys from Marvel and DC. Just like, I mean, try to get into that artist alley in New York Comic Con. It's not happening.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
No.
So I see professionals getting turned down.
Right.
So, what chance do any of us have of getting in there? But at least in that area, San Diego had an area for people like us where we could go, and beat. So, I mean, I think that's a little bit more significant. But, I mean,
but isn't New York set up like that with a small press area?
No.
Small press and artist alley.
Right.
2 separate sections.
Sure,
Yes.
right.
Right,
But
no,
there
no, no.
is-
Both and I were in small press.
No.
Artist alley
There's a small publishers area, right? And there was a small press area at San Diego. Like,
Yes.
Like there was the small publishers area was like a booth, and it was more expensive. It was a little bit towards the front,
Right.
And I think they were like, I don't know, 800 or 900 at the time when I was there. Maybe it was 1,200
I'm sorry, for San Diego?
for San Diego, yes.
Okay.
And then the small press area was like 4.25.
Right. But what I'm saying is, doesn't New York have that too? Doesn't New York have a
Oh.
small press area?
No, I think
Yeah, we
No,
used
they
to.
had the small
New York has-
publishers area.
yeah,
Yeah.
New York.
Small publisher, small press is the same thing, dude.
I think that they've
I'm
thrown
saying in San Diego, they have 2 separate areas.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You understand? They have 2 separate areas. It's not one area. They have small press and small publisher.
Okay. I don't understand the difference between the two. I thought they were the same.
Well, like I said, the small publishers had booths, right? The small press had like rows of tables. Just make sure you check.
So their small
Yeah,
press
small
was,
press
artist
was
alley.
sort of like just dudes
It was
making
like
their
an-
own book. It's like, hey, I made a book. Like, put me in here. And then the small publishers would be like,
Well, I mean, Ape used to be in there. I mean,
yeah, they're over in that area already. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, still.
There was
like
like
Terry Moore is in there, right, with his abstract
Right.
press, and those kind of guys are over there.
Exactly, yeah.
Coffin Comics, Brian Polito's over there. Those
Right.
guys.
I just saw the comment from Granda Comics. I think there's a mystique about New York, right? So like if you've never been to, so we live in New York, like JD, both JDs and myself, we live in New York. So
It is the greatest city in the world.
it is.
Yeah,
But I think I personally take it for granted, right? I'm like, it's New York. I'd rather go to San Diego and check out San Diego because I can go down to Times Square, or I can go down to Chelsea. I can go down to the West Village. At any time I want, I can jump on a train and just go down there. It's not a big deal. So like when somebody comes from out of town, though, they're like, yo, we got to take in New York. There's so much to see in New York. You understand what I'm saying? There's that. Whereas when I go to San Diego, I'm just enjoying the weather because I'm tired of whether it's the cold weather here or whatever the hell it is. I'm going to San Diego. It's almost like a vacation. So I enjoy it more than say being in New York Comic Con. But New York Comic Con is great. I think what you guys are talking about, what you were saying, JD, New York, I think New York Comic Con, it's all about how much are you willing to pay for this booth? And I don't care where we put you. We're going to put you on the main floor, wherever. There's no area for you. But if you give us $2,500, you can sit there, set up your stuff and sell it. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I think New York is more of that mindset. Whereas, like you said, San Diego Comic Con actually has, places for you.
Right.
I don't know if it's changed since I last did it, but yeah, I remember that, JD. It did have two
Well,
separate.
No,
Uh,
it exists that way. That's where we were when we did it for 2 years before we went over to Aspen. So that still exists.
and here's something for all of you. I just got back from the. Well, I went to Brooklyn. I went to the Koch.
Okay, you went today?
Yeah, I went today.
Oh, did you go last Sunday, dude?
No, it rained.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I went today, and it's a warehouse. These guys are going out of business. The guy's been there, I don't know how long, 30, 40 years. And bro, this place is packed from ceiling to floor with books, tapes, graphic novels, you name it, it's in there. I picked up a bunch. I was like, I grabbed like the stuff I went in there for was like some Star Reach comics. This is like indie comics from the 70s, right?
Nice.
And I was like, I spent $60 on these books, maybe like 10, 12 books or whatever, very reasonably priced for what they were, right? And my friend that I was with, he was like, yo, you want to keep? I was like, no, I got to get the hell out of this joint. I'm just going to keep spending cash.
Word.
I was just like, I got to go. I was like, it was very easy to just roll in there because there was just so much. I mean,
when is it closing? When is it like closing its
he
doors?
said, I mean, and the gentleman is very nice gentleman. I guess he was the owner.
Okay.
Older gentleman. I mean, he must have been in his mid to late 70s.
Yeah.
He walked us around, gave us the 10-cent tour. But he said, I think the end of August. So
Okay.
I would advise if you get a chance to go out there,
Keep going, bro.
it's not necessarily the Jay. It's not some place you're gonna want to take your wife. It's for this is for hardcore comic book people. I'm telling you. You can take her, but I'm telling you, she's gonna be like, I might want to wait. She might want to wait outside.
Okay. Listen, I took a thrift shopping today. I waited outside.
And
it's
he bought a
parody.
comic book for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
They have a massive dollar section, like dollar books. They have
Oh, I love dollar stuff.
I mean, a massive section. And the thing is,
dollar's the new 25-cent bit.
Yeah, and I mean, and the thing is like they got books. He had books in it, dude. Elementals issue number 2 from 1982. He had a long box of them.
Wow.
I was like, what the frick? And I mean, he had stuff like, and I mean, he had $5 graphic novels, like it just piles and piles of this stuff. I was like, frick. And he had a long box of independent comics from local creators. That was funny. We were digging through that for our stuff. But yeah, it was. Yo, I would definitely take.
Nobody has to stop Jay from spending the money. I want to thank everybody who's chiming in on the chats. I appreciate you all. Thank you for calling out Tom as a traitor. I'm sorry about all of those who are siding with Tom and George. Thank you, Carissa, for being on my side. Granda, thank you so much.
I'm a well-traveled gentleman, sir. I've been around this country and seen a thing or two.
I've been around the block too. And I understood what you were talking about. Because when I did MegaCon, right, it was on International Drive, and you can hike it or you could drive it. Everything is out there. Is that the same over there with Steel City or Three Rivers, Marvin, or no?
Yeah. I mean, there's like Pittsburgh has a good walking score. I mean, there's stuff to go walk around and see downtown, across the bridges, and everything like that. Okay.
I did one Boston convention years ago against my better judgment because Boston, it's the worst state in the union.
Boston's a city, Massachusetts is a state.
No. Official New Yorkers know. There's only 3 states that have never been recognized as real states because of the population and the animosity towards each other. New York, right? New York City, it's its own state away from New York State. Philly, it's its own state away from Pennsylvania, right? And Boston, it's its own state away from Massachusetts, whatever. That New England.
I can officially say he does not speak for all of us.
This is just drunken sports logic. That's all that is.
You know, like Massachusetts is like it's like the borderline for everything in New England. You know, it covers New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont. You know, they all root for all that stuff over there,
Yeah.
right?
And
So it's like, okay, that's why Boston is separate from all of that stuff, right? Hey, here we go. Here we go. We got a transplant to chiming in over here. Go Celtics. Okay, we'll say that from somebody who grew up, you know, around the corner from me, New Yorker, tried and true. Thanks, and you're always coming to New York Comic Con, William. All right, wait till I see you this year, bro. Wait till I see you this year. And Calderon, yes, for the populace at large, I do speak for all New Yorkers. And yes, Tom, you are correct. This is Drunken Sport. Right? I mean, look, Marvin, does Pittsburgh, right, and the rest of Pennsylvania want to associate themselves with Philly?
No.
No. You see? No, they don't. So they kick it out. That's why Philly's its own state, bro.
But just remember, Marvin, he didn't even recognize your city or state for everybody. You're not even recognized. You're not on the map.
Pittsburgh is an outlier and everything because like our Pittsburgh proper is really low population, but we include all the surrounding areas as Pittsburgh, so it doesn't.
There you go.
So Jay, you were saying, so you've been to one Boston convention and what happened?
I went to one Boston convention and they booked it during a parade. So it was like, how is foot traffic going to get through? You know, you ruined it. You ruined it. I want to say it was a Greek parade. And I was just like, that's the main entrance. I mean, you guys are, you know about this stuff year in advance. Oh. But whatever. So conventions are out there, right? And small press, small publishers, we're pushing boundaries, right? And going to the title of today's program, right? Are independent comic books the trendsetters for the rest of the market?
Can I start? No,
because last time you started, you were talking about this, and you put me. You were like, "Hey, you listening? No, motherfucker, because you bored me. You fucking bored me." All right. So I'm gonna go to the guy who always comes on first on my show, who loves to be the first one to pop up. Marvin.
I mean, so that's a loaded question, bro.
It is a loaded question.
I mean, when you look at trends now, trends aren't comics. Trends are movies. Trends are video games.
Okay, excuse me. Within the industry.
Well, I mean, it depends. Like, who your breakout indie books usually buy? Mostly Image, Boom.
Okay.
So I would say that, are the mainstream books snatching up people from indies to do books in their realm? They used to. Are they now? I don't know. So are the trends being set by numbers, or the trends being set by things you're doing? Because you do notice that a lot of things do get ripped from indie books into more mainstream books sometimes.
Yes,
like
sir.
What? You got an example?
Price points.
Yeah.
Price points. Marvel and DC don't give a fuck about price points. They're
Bro,
going to
they
price whatever they want.
We were doing this for a minute, right? You got people doing $10 books. I'm sure they're going to hit that pretty soon.
Well, Kickstarter
for standard issues.
I was going to say crowdfunding.
Definitely crowdfunding. Definitely.
Like some of the majors, they've jumped all over the crowdfunding space now. They're like Marvel's doing stuff, DC's doing stuff, Boom is doing stuff in Kickstarter. Wasn't there just what was it, that G.I. Joe book? That G.I. Joe omnibus. What did it do? 4 million?
I think it made the most money at Kickstarter ever.
Yeah. Really? So I mean, you're I don't want to say you're stealing lunches, but you're jumping into a space that do you need to be in, or like that's a trend. That was a trend started with independent books, and now they see that it's something that they can grab a hold of and exploit. Now you're going to see more of that.
Okay. All right. George, what's up, kid?
What's up? I don't know, man. I think that whole thing about jumping on Kickstarter and the pricing of the books have all been done by necessity, right? It was necessary for us to do it. And it became, I guess, a trend at that point. Everybody started doing it. I don't think we do it on purpose sometimes. I think we fall into it because we need to do certain things, right? Like we need to do these shows to promote our product. We need to, so we tend to work in that space of like, okay, what do we need to do to get the word out? You guys talk a lot about the funnel, right? And how awareness and building awareness and all that other stuff. And this is how we find a way to do it. And in turn, sometimes I guess, the bigger guys say, those little guys are doing it that way. Let me see how we can, maximize that and make even more money doing what they're trying to do. And so they kind of come on the Kickstarters and they price their books a little higher, even though they probably don't need to, because they burn these things. They don't give a shit about books. But yeah, so I think it's sometimes it's we fall into it. It's by mistake. But yeah, no, I think there are certain things that we kind of do set a trend, not even knowing we were about to do that. So,
right. Before you jump over to Jay, even looking at like the HasLabs from Hasbro, they're crowdfunding. Like they're just raking in money.
Platform,
yeah,
right?
It's just yeah. They were even before that. They wasn't Mattel was doing something similar to that through their website, crowdfunding, like the Castle Grayskull and things like that. So I mean, they took advantage of something
as well.
Yeah, that someone else. Well, you said someone needed out of necessity. Now you're just using it as a tool.
Mm-hmm. They saw something in there. They did, right? And they capitalized on it. They scaled up on it, right? What do you think, Tom?
Infinitely scale up. Infinitely.
Well, they had the resources to do so.
That's
yeah.
Right. Whereas, we go into it because we're scrappy, right? We're trying to be innovative. We're trying to find ways to build a better mousetrap. Sometimes we end up catching ourselves in a mousetrap, and sometimes we find something that the next person will take and build upon, and then somebody else will see it and build upon until it becomes the industry trend, like stretch goals. Stretch goals were not part of Kickstarters in the beginning, right? And boom, now you can't find a campaign without a stretch goal.
Right, and then the store feature, the late pledges.
Right. Tom, what do you think, bud?
So we didn't do shit, guys. I'm sorry.
Wow. Okay.
You guys didn't do shit other than accept a new platform in the crowdfunding realm, right? That's it. No one made it. I didn't make it. JD didn't make it. Marvin didn't make it. We didn't come together as a collective and say, let's create crowdfunding. This was somebody, and I don't know who, this was somebody's brainchild back in the day of, let me do this. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt to help these people along the way. I'll make a little bit, and so all we did was eventually us as a collective indie guys said, hey, you know what? This kind of makes sense. Like this helps us a lot because the industry that we're in and the system that we're in doesn't want us. And so over time, people started to try it. It became like, oh, I think this works. And it grew. So the trend was to use Kickstarter and crowdfunding in general. That was the trend, but we didn't set that trend at all because we didn't make it. We just adopted it. We were like, all right, this is what we're going to do because this makes sense to us and it helps us and it works for us because it's direct to consumer sales, which we really had no access to unless we were going to Comic Cons or, any of that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I and then as far as like the big guys coming in, they're the exact same thing. They're like, well, this is just a sales channel now. It's gone from give me money for a thing to we're pre-ordering now. It's a pre-order because it comes out in a few months or a year or whatever it is. So the big guys were like, well, yeah, again, direct to customer sales. Why aren't we doing this? And then, a lot of these guys are doing these big omnibus books and hardcovers and stuff on Kickstarter. And then those books go over to Diamond afterwards. They're like, hey, we're going to make, 5,000 of these things. And you guys get this cover. And then the direct market gets this cover over here. So they've just figured out the workaround to a lot of Diamond problems, which is, you solicit a book, you don't even see cash for 4 to 5 months afterwards, but you have to pay for it all. Crowdfunding now pays for it all before Diamond has to pay for it. So crowdfunding is a workaround for them. And for us, it is now, there are things within it now that became trends. Like you mentioned the stretch goals and stuff. So yes, there are things that we as creators came into the space and said, how can we elevate the space? What can we do? And so there's those kinds of things, certainly. And there's definitely people that watch that and they're like, oh, well, Brian Pulido does it this way and Dan Mendoza does it this way. And so, you know, those guys can be trendsetters within the space. But even within the industry, I'm not sure what exactly we think we're trend setting. It's still the same. I mean, Brian Pulido's still making the same stuff he made in 1994, right? It's the same thing, but he's elevated his character and his stature through crowdfunding and through being consistent and making these books. Tell me who's revolutionizing anything in comics right now in any capacity. Other than the crowdfunding world. The crowdfunding world, people are figuring things out within that space. But if we're talking about the industry as a whole, I'm not seeing really trendsetters or revolutionary thinking or this is how we grow the industry. I don't really see any of that.
That's because people have let things become stagnant.
I don't agree. I don't disagree. Yeah.
And in the way of you're still only servicing people who go into a building. That's you're always chasing that building, that the comic shop, and there are a few who are trying to move outside of that realm. So you're doing library events, you're doing stuff in schools, et cetera, et cetera. There's not enough people doing that.
Sure.
And like we saw this at Comics Pro. We see the people who are trying to innovate or trying to do different things, and then you have the people who are just sitting on their hands and
but
like,
is the innovation solely let's go to the library versus let's go to Comic-Con, or is there actual? Tell me anyone here. Tell me who is innovating a comic book itself.
Oh, as far as what?
As far as anything,
things in the style, things in the format,
as far as format, as far as art, as far as color, as far as any sort of presentation.
I've seen creators try to do their books as a scroll, not the infinite scroll on a webtoon. I mean, as a scroll, like you're coming out of the Library of Alexandria.
Sure, but that's a niche.
But okay, so let me rephrase. Calderon already said no, so we know his answer. Right? All right. So
we're not gonna let him elaborate on that.
I'm done.
Well, again, let me be really clear, really quickly though. It's not. I'm not to say that people haven't tried different things, but what of those different things have actually caught on to become like, oh, hey, you know what? Tom Hutchison wants to make a scroll comic book now. You know what I mean? Where are those innovations that have actually like been like, oh shit, that's a great idea?
Hold on. Can I answer Tom's question?
No. Answer whatever you want. Doesn't have to be Tom.
All right.
Say your piece.
Well, just to answer a bit. In independent comics, the only people that I could probably remember who have innovated anything was Dave Sim at the very beginning of independent time in comics, when he came out and said, look, anybody can do this. And he was pushing other creators to self-publish. And this was done in the early 80s, very early on. When nobody else was really doing it or just having a hard time doing it. The other time was maybe Teenage Ninja Turtles, where they also came out and you could see them and they were making successes of it.
Sure, but
the other people who
3 years ago.
Right. I'm not saying this was current.
Yeah, right.
Because the other two I have were also old school is Frank Miller and Alan Moore. Alan Moore with Watchmen, Frank Miller with Dark Knight. Look at what they've done. Look at what they did with storytelling, technique, and all these different things. Deconstruction of superheroes, deconstruction of these stories. Very, very different. But again, like Tom said, this was 40 years ago. Who's doing stuff now? I guarantee you there is someone doing stuff we're not recognizing. We don't know who they are.
Yeah,
right.
There's definitely artists that are pushing boundaries. I see, right? Sure. But it's not to a point where we're recognizing Frank Miller, Alan Moore.
Right.
We're not recognizing that stuff. So that definitely is happening. I can see that.
I think a trend. I think a trend that I believe may help indies is to walk away. And I think Granda had mentioned this: walk away from the floppies and go into the graphic and go into the trades. I think that. I don't think we can afford it as indies unless we get picked up.
Floppies or the trade?
The floppies. I just don't think we can afford to do a monthly floppy. I mean, Marv, big shout out to you for doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And and even Tom with it, but you need a publisher behind you, and even then, it's very expensive. So, I think a trend, like we're talking about, what would be a trend that I think indies would probably need to do more trades than floppies.
See,
Well,
that's another thing that I've heard for decades,
I know.
right? And the people that I know that have tried it, number one, think about the cost. Like if you're gonna make a trade, like let's say it's 4 issues, right? It would have been 4 issues. You have to pay for the 4 issues to be done in one capacity, and then you're selling it to an audience that's different from floppy collectors. Floppy collectors don't necessarily want the big book. They can't get it graded. They don't have that collectability factor and so on. So the problem that we have, and listen, I'm not disagreeing with you because I know some people that are doing it, and I'm actually doing my first one next year. So we're going to see what the result is. But I know people that have done this, and when I see their Kickstarters, I'm like, oh yeah, we did like 25 grand. I'm like, I did 25 grand for a floppy.
Right.
So, but it's a double-edged sword, because whereas you have that, you got a higher price point on the sale, you're in the hole for the amount of money it takes to do that before you can recoup 1 penny, right? You're in the dark because you're so focused on production of that, you're not putting out new content. So maybe you're lost in the ether, right? In the gears of everything that's going on. And then what happens if it doesn't hit?
Right.
You're out all that money.
Yep.
Right. But I mean, with me going back to the monthly book thing, I don't think any indie is smart to do a monthly book. Where you're still chasing mainstream books. Like, I don't even think a monthly book is necessary from anybody. I don't need a book every month. I don't need to go to the and like if the story's not interesting, you're going to drop it anyway. But
it depends on who the creator is.
Yeah.
If Bill Willingham was still illustrating, I would pick, and he was doing the Elementals. I want my Elementals.
See, that's you. I'm sure there's other people who wouldn't, right?
Yeah, but I guarantee you, there's 30 or 40,000 people just like me.
Right, but like I said, what I said before is that from what I've been told is that people don't even go to comic shops every month. Like on the average, it's every other month. It's on Free Comic Book Day. People come in, they get their pulls, and they leave. I mean, no one's is really searching the racks anymore for new stuff.
Yeah. Even the last time I was at the comic book store, there was a bunch of guys in there, and I don't even know how it came up, but somehow Star Wars came up. And it just turned into this absolute like tear down Last Jedi fest. Like, it was the greatest half an hour I've had in a long, long time.
Wow.
But none of us were talking about comics. We were just standing around the store like shooting the shit. So yeah, it's and again, for me, I'm not even talking about the industry as specifically the retail store. Right. Like that's not even in my brain. It hasn't been in my brain for years because I've been so removed from it. I've been gone from the stores for almost 8 years before AP picked me up and sent me back into stores. So I've been gone from stores. So everything that I'm coming from is Kickstarter world, eBay world, web store world, live sales on Facebook world, website world, crowdfunding world. I'm not even bringing the retail into my concept at this point. Because we keep talking about saving the industry, but I'm like, the industry doesn't want us. It hasn't wanted us for decades.
Absolutely right. We got to save ourselves before we can save the industry.
That's
right. We shouldn't even think about that, right? We're trying to think of that collectively.
Well, I think if there's a way to do both, that's great, right? But the reality is that the retail system, even now with Lunar and all of that, it still doesn't really want us. It tolerates us. It has a tangential interest in us, but like if a retail guy is like, well, I either have to buy the other Batman book this week or JD's book, he's buying the Batman book.
Right.
Yeah, and we're out the door. It's not even.
We found an audience through this crowdfunding market, right?
Yes,
through these live streams.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And we found a way through that to maximize our margins. Okay. Keep them, retain them.
Yeah.
That's the bigger thing. Retain them. We've shown time after time that we are the opposite of the direct market, where there's a loss of attrition between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where with you know, the crowdfunding, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If they're buying
it
the
can
physical
anyway, it
they-
can.
it
But
can.
at
It can,
minimum, I
yeah.
think, at minimum, I think it's stable for the most part.
Mhm.
It's very rarely a dip, and if it is, it's a negligible dip, right? You know, maybe you're down a couple of backers or whatever. But you know, just my very first Kickstarter series that I did with Penny for Your Soul, we started the first one at 16,000, and on issue 7 we were at 38,000, and so we just went straight up because we focused on it, and it skyrocketed. So it is the opposite of retail, and I think part of that is because this is another thing that gets talked about all the time. I think there are a lot of readers for indie books on crowdfunding. Yes, they buy variant covers and they collect and all that kind of stuff, but I think there are a lot of readers on Kickstarter, crowdfunding in general, because they're looking at stuff and they're buying stuff a lot of times that they don't know what the fuck it is. They're like, oh, this just looks cool to me. Like, give me whatever this is. And then they read it and they're like, oh, this is fucking cool. Give me number 2, give me number. But in the retail world, the retail store has to buy 1,000 copies and then guess how many they're going to sell. And generally they'll be like, well, I'm going to order number 2 before number 1 comes out. I'm going to get like 500 of them. And the attrition just drops right off and dies. And that's just the reality for almost all comics. So crowdfunding, I think, has a just a much more active user / reader base that wants this stuff. And it's a shame that we can't figure out a way how to power that into stores. But, you know, all of these places have different buyers. Comic-Con has a different buyer than a retail store, than eBay, than Facebook, than crowdfunding. It's all different buyers. Yes, they overlap in the Venn diagram. Of course they do. But all of these pockets of, like I've said this before on crowdfunding, there are people that have been regular buyers for me on Kickstarter for now almost 10 years. I don't know who the fuck they are. I've never seen them at a con. I've never seen them on Facebook or any social media. They are only there on Kickstarter whenever I launch a thing. And I'm like, there's that guy again. I don't know who he is, but he loves what I'm doing. So we have to understand that these audiences are different. And Gary Vee talks about this too. I know you guys know who Gary Vee is. He talks about all these social media platforms, and each one requires a different sort of strategic attack, right? It's the same thing here. Crowdfunding is not the same as retail, is not the same as a website.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, when you're talking about the people who are just buying things on Kickstarter, maybe they had a comic store they went to that closed.
Sure. Orphan customers, that's a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got like a shrinking market that people are hungry for something. And if they can't find it in the store because now their store is 20 miles away, I can't get there. So where do I go to get my comics? Midtown is an option. Like you can order online. But if you discover something on that Kickstarter, like, oh, I don't even see this on Midtown. This is the only place I can get it. All right, take my money.
Well, and there's guys, for example, like Dan Mendoza, who used to be in Diamond, you know, through Action Lab and other places, right? Who has pulled out. And now the only place to get Dan Mendoza stuff, for the most part, is Kickstarter. And so Dan Mendoza's fans go to Kickstarter, and while they're hanging out with Dan, what else is here? Show me what else you got.
Right. So for something that didn't seem like it was going to be a topic with legs, this has some fucking legs tonight.
Oh, but it's because we get together and we can shoot the breeze on this kind of stuff, and we're always going to dig in the right hole to find the water.
One of these days, you got Ryan Kincaid in the audience here. One of these days, you got to get Ryan on this show because he's a bright guy too. He's a great artist, and he's doing his own crowdfunding and stuff. He's got his own his thing's running right now, called Con Artist. So he's a very bright guy.
Look at that. It's plugging everybody else shamelessly. That's something that we do religiously. We do that, right?
Well, so, I think one of the things that is also happening is that our new people being brought into the space as far as creation and readers, and who's doing that? I mean, like your Marvel, your DCs aren't. They're not bringing new people into the space. They're kind of stiff arming them a little bit in some respects. So is it up to us to bring new people in this place, like through your crowdfunding, through your Kickstarters, through your conventions, of bringing new readers into those books that didn't know it existed? Like,
Well, and I think that's one of the, bringing new readers, like we all five of us collectively have regular readers, right? So when we get together like this, and if we do marketing together, like we've talked about JD's newspaper and stuff, if all of a sudden all five of us are together and talking about each other, then my fans now know who JD is. JD's fans now know who George is. It all works in that whole, rising tide lifts all ships thing.
Right. Synergy.
Yeah.
That's what we not have to have is we have what those other people don't have. They don't have synergy between them. So they don't care. Right. My market share is more important than my helping you to bring new people into the space.
They don't care, or the machine doesn't care.
Well, the machine never doesn't care because it's a machine. As long as it's running, it doesn't care. All it wants is oil.
Yeah. Now, as far as who are you talking to? You referring to Marvel and DC? Like they only care about their market share?
Of course.
Yeah. I agree 110% on that. Because I mean, the thing is but the thing is, also we were talking about, you mentioned like G.I. Joe and going on Kickstarter, making what, $4 million on there, right? And I'm like, is that really indie though? Does that have anything to really do with us? I mean, does that have anything to do with us? Right?
No, but it does bring people to the platform.
Yeah.
Oh no, definitely. That definitely does bring people to the platform, but it still doesn't have anything really to do with us. It doesn't even help out the creators on those books.
Right.
Larry Hama doesn't get royalty checks from that stuff.
Right.
And he created that stuff.
He did promotions for that, so that
it was work for hire, bro. You know
what? Right is right, wrong is wrong. You can say what you want. You can work. You can side with this. You can side with the 1% all you want. Wrong is wrong.
Don't be an ass.
Right. No. What I'm saying is that he did a promotional video for that. Did they pay him to do the video?
They probably did. I mean, if he's doing promotion,
for all we know,
he probably is getting paid.
Yeah. To be fair, Dynamite could be saying, "Look, dude, we'll give you a percentage of what this makes, help us out, and do all that." For all we know, we don't know, but typically, like JD says, when they do these reprint things like this, the original creators don't get shit because it's just too old.
Right. Look, I know Bob Larkin. I don't know if you guys know who Bob Larkin is. He's a famous painter. He did the Dazzler original, the painting of Dazzler skating, where you have like the 5 bubbles and then like 5 characters, a Nightcrawler and a few others in there. The very famous painting of her. Marvel just recently did a poster. How much do you think he got in royalties?
How much?
Nothing.
Ungats, to quote you. That's what he got.
There you go.
Right? That's what he got. But why? Because it was work for hire.
Right.
Okay.
But, I mean,
all right.
you
You know what? Marvin, I'm sorry. Let me bring this dirty secret.
Yeah.
Right. This thing out there. In 10 years, if you reprint your books,
right,
is Jade going to get another bite at the apple?
It depends on how much money I'm making off that book.
Okay, that's fair.
If I went to Scholastic and Scholastic would have sold my book and they cut me $1 million check, I would guarantee cut her.
My man, that's perfect. That's yeah. Right.
Now, if we're talking about $10, she might not be getting.
I got a bag of Skittles for you, son. Here, come
exactly.
But what I was going to say is so wasn't that like the royalties and everything was part of the whole image thing, right? Is why these guys bailed. And it seems like that hasn't changed the whole entire mantra of what they're doing, is that these guys left your organization. Some came back, of course, but you still don't care that you're not paying people forward for things that they do. Like even with the movies, they had to fight to get royalties off the characters they created in those movies. Like you're making billions of dollars and you can't cut somebody a check.
It's funny. With what you're saying, Marvin, I want to flip Ric Flair's phrase, "To be the man, you got to beat the man." Right? Their whole thing ended up becoming, "To beat the man, you got to be the man."
Yeah.
Right? Because look at what ended up happening with Image. With Image, right? Because you got the people in the office who were doing not double duty, not triple duty, quadruple duty, right? To keep the offices afloat. And when they try to unionize, what do? They bounce a bunch of them on their ass, bro.
Mhm.
They did.
Mhm.
So
But you also got to remember that that's a situation where you have, again, people who are non-creatives trying to dictate policy to creatives. You
I'm
understand?
sorry.
That's
Give me a little bit. No, give me a little bit more context on that. Who we're
Right.
talking about with this?
You just mentioned the union for Image, right?
I mentioned
people
the
who were
workers who were in the office, right? Who
right.
were
So you had a
doing
bunch of
doing
non-creatives.
triple and
Non.
quadruple duty
How do you know that? Do you work there? I don't know if they're
because they
doing triple duty.
specified that in their argument.
I don't know, dude. I work at the office, and I have people telling me they do
Okay.
triple
And
duty.
I'm a blue collar guy, and
So
I've been
am I.
union. I've been union more than 30 years of my life.
And that's
like-
fine.
But like
You
JD
understand?
was
But-
saying, is part of their demands.
Policy.
Let me tell you that again.
That's
Part
why
of
I asked
their
for context.
demands
Right.
were that they got to have editorial control over things. Who was
Right.
working for Image, what they were producing. Those guys wanted editorial control of some percentage, not complete, but they wanted some editorial control because they said, if we're going to work with this company, we're going to decide who we work with.
Right.
Okay.
And the thing is, they're non-creative people. When the janitor starts to ask me, say, yo, I want you to change your cover design, or I want you to change your logo, we got issues. If he
Okay.
tells me, yo, I want more holiday pay, or I want more vacation time, or I want a better insurance policy, that's different. You
Okay.
understand? I can
Yes,
understand.
that
I
is
can get
different.
behind that.
That is different from the person who is in marketing and has to push a book that they're not comfortable pushing because of the context of that book.
Then you know what? Then they need to push off.
That's correct.
They
There's
need to
somebody,
push
trust
off.
me, there's more than one guy in marketing. So if
Right.
one guy
Okay.
has a problem, you swap it out.
Right. And
'Cause-
okay, I hear that. I hear
Look,
that, and I agree
how many
with
Robert Kirkmans in the world are there?
No,
How many
hold on a
Robert
second.
How many
Hold on
Robert
a second.
Kirkmans in the
Hold
world?
on a
There's one
second.
Robert Kirkman, right?
Let's
There's
call
one
it
Robert
TV
Kirkman,
timeout.
right?
Let's call it TV timeout there for a second,
Go
okay?
ahead.
Because you've come from the office, all right? As somebody who is ground level, blue collar in the union, you understand what it's like to be pushed to do something that you're not comfortable doing, and when there's no opportunity to switch out for somebody else to do that, your position is threatened, right?
Sure, but we're talking
you're just trying to
about
protect against that.
sure, but we're talking about a creative endeavor here versus
Right.
like working at a warehouse
They're
or
not. They're not
whatever it
operating
happens to be.
forklifts.
Within the
they're not
creative world, creators are allowed to create, right?
Yes.
And if you're working for a creative company and you don't like what the company is creating, you have two options. You can continue doing your job, or you can get another job.
Right.
That's really your options because it's a creative
always an
world. And
option.
you, as a non-creative person, should not have the say to say, I don't like that guy and what he does, so I don't want him here in this company because I'm here. That's problematic.
That is problematic, but that is also securing your position. You've been here. You've blood, sweat, and tears for this company since day one. Okay. Now you got Joe Blow, brand new creator who wants to push the edge, who thinks they're trendy. All right. And oh my God, I'm going to not expose, but not extrapolate, but take advantage of this situation so I could sell more copies.
All right, but hold on.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
The higher ups say, okay, because selling units is what we're into. But now you've got those in the back office who say that's opening Pandora's box. And opening that box puts all of our jobs at risk. Is that not fair for them to speak up? And
Let me tell you something. Well, hold on. If the guys who made the company, meaning Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson, and all those people, make the decision to bring that person on and make those choices, then yeah, because the creatives have made that decision. Look at Disney today. Disney today is currently run by a bunch of bean counters, not creatives. Iger is a bean counter. Look at what he's done to that company creatively. You understand?
Okay.
It's a shell of what it was just 10 years ago. Okay.
And it's not to say that these people can't speak up. Like, no one's saying don't speak up. Like, if you have an opinion and a thought process, bring it. But ultimately, there's a decision at the top that's being made. And all you can do is bring that opinion to them. If they then say, well, okay, we get where you're coming from, but we're going to go ahead and run the book. That's it.
Then you can go. That's your position.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying be quiet. Yeah. I'm not saying be quiet, shut up, do your job. You got a problem, express it, and then make your decision if you're staying.
But unfortunately, not everybody can just go.
No, so let me ask you guys a question. So we're talking about creatives, and then we're talking about creatives, and then we're also talking about the corporate world, right? So like, where do you divide the two things? So for example, we're talking about, you have a group of people who, and we don't want the bean counters, so to speak, get involved with the creative, right?
Okay.
But if that creative book isn't selling, don't they have to get involved at that point? Because it's a business, right? Like once it turns into a business, like I'm not talking about us creating books because we love to create books and we love to write, and I don't give a fuck if nobody buys it. I'm going to create my shit. I don't care. That's one thing. But when you're now in the corporate world or in the business of selling comics, if something isn't selling, that creative side of you has to step aside and say, maybe this is just going to be for me. Sure. And I have to create something that's actually going to sell and make me some money. Sure. You know what I mean? Do you think where is that divide for you guys?
It depends how much heat you can stand.
Yeah, I mean, like for example, Robert Kirkman, Invincible was almost canceled multiple times because the sales just drifted off into nothing before Ryan Otley came on and kind of came back. But Robert Kirkman decided to go ahead and keep paying what he needed to pay because he believed he could turn it back around, which he did. So I think it depends greatly on the creator and the book and what the problem is perceived to be. Can we fix the problem? Do we need X, Y, and Z to fix the problem?
There's always a number, right? And that's what the bean counters are there for, right? How many times have we heard in the past, Marvel or DC, books being canceled at 30,000 units a month? Shit, 30,000 units a month, it's top 50 right now, right? We'd kill 30,000 a month. We're fucking retired. We're doing image releases once every 8 months at 30,000 units. So they put that together, right? And that's informative, based on the production budget, right? Advertising budget and whatever other parameters that are in there.
Well, I think it comes down to when the shareholders call a meeting. And that person who is in charge of things has to answer the questions of why such and such isn't making money when we brought them in here to make us money. So then when that person's job is on the line, now we got to go back to that creator and say, hey, we got to make a decision because now they're coming for my job. So now I have to defend myself against what you're doing and shield myself, protect myself. I can't worry about you no more. You didn't do your part. Now I have to do my part.
Right, going to the bean counters, I always remember the story of the Blade movie. All right, when they were looking for their lead on Blade, had they booked Denzel Washington, the budget would have been $45 million. If they booked Wesley Snipes, the budget was going to be $35 million. If they booked Lawrence Fishburne, the budget was going to be $25 million. They booked Wesley Snipes, and then he had a string of hits. He had Rising Sun, Drop Zone, Passenger 57. So because those things hit, they increased that budget to 45 million plus, right? So the bean counters were involved in creative to an extent, right? Because they allowed the creatives to access more of a budget to put together a better picture. But it was based on whatever formula they had in play, whatever parameters they had in play, on Wesley Snipes bringing in X amount of dollars to the cinema. Right. Same thing is in play for the writers and the artists of books today, right? If this person does X amount of units, then we're going to pay this person this much money for this many issues. With us indie guys, we don't know what the fuck that is because we're nowhere near that, right? We're getting by. We're making shit. Tom's making 20,000 plus per drop, right? The majority of the people are making 2,000 to 5,000 per drop. So those parameters are not even in play for us, right? It's, oh my God, can we produce it? Fuck yeah. Am I going to take a loss out of my personal pocket? Probably. But these are our decisions.
You need to cover about Jim Lee. You got 20 grand?
I thought it was 35.
It was
It
35.
ranges.
No, these are sketches, my friends. If you want to turn that into a cover, those prices all double at least.
Sure.
Really, I thought Rob Liefeld was 10 grand per cover.
He is.
Okay, who's got 10? Who's got a tenner? Who's
Not
got
for
a
him.
tenner right now?
Not for him. Nope.
Not for him.
Not for
Not
him.
for him. But the motherfucker sold on his own how many thousand units on the Thundercats piece?
Yeah, but that's Thundercats too. You put him on Critter, it's not gonna. I'm not selling 10,000 units because of him on Critter. That's not happening.
Is it?
It's
Is it
not happening.
The guy has a platform.
Doesn't matter.
How many did he sell on the last?
Doesn't matter. I'll tell you why it doesn't matter. I'll tell you why
Why?
it doesn't
Go,
matter.
shoot.
Because he's had his stuff on other things that hasn't sold an extra 10,000 units.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he was associated with the Thundercats, that's just branding. That's Rob Liefeld's doing Thundercats. Holy shit. But if it's like Rob Liefeld's drawing Critter, no one cares.
Yeah, and Thundercats book was going to sell no matter what because all those other covers were sold out too because that thing just sold like it was like hotcakes or something. It was crazy. I couldn't believe how many units that sold.
For $10,000, you'd have to sell a lot more than just 10,000 units to cover that.
Yeah.
If you pay him 11, will he draw feet?
11.5. He let somebody because he's got to have somebody else ink that. You know, again, I got to go back for a topic that we didn't think had legs. Look at that shit, right? We're pushing an hour, and we don't even know where that fucking hour went. So before we go another hour, let me show us. Go ahead, show.
I just think it had legs because we just disagreed with you and we were right.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh my god! Woo! Look at that. We can have discourse and we don't hate each other.
We could have had this entire show.
No, that's not true. That's not true. We do hate you.
Wow.
Wait. Tom posted that on Kickstarter about us being adults, and I said that how dare you assume I'm an adult?
Yeah, clearly that is not the case.
You're giving me too much credit by calling me an adult. But before we go another hour, let me show something over here. So, excuse me, that one of our homies who was on the panel tonight is JD Calderon. Be nice, JD Calderon. Be nice.
No, guys, Dad, no, no.
All right, so George, you wanna tell us a little bit about this, brother?
Yeah. Russ 5377 is a book it's a character I created back in 1999.
Okay.
This book is a 25th anniversary edition of the graphic novel that I put out. It's being published through ASAP Imagination, and it's the story of a 17-year-old boy who lives in an orphanage sometime in the future. I don't tell you when because I hate it when you give a date to a story, and in 2015 we never had flying cars. I hated
it says
that.
5377. Isn't that the date?
No, it's his actual identification number because he's
very nice.
Right. So the story is about this kid who's in this orphanage who he thinks is an orphanage. Come to find out, it's something much more. And when he starts finding these things out, he decides it's time to escape. And him and his friends decide it's time to go on a little adventure and get the hell out of Dodge. So the story, I wrote this thing way back in the day. I mean, it's been years since I wrote it, and I put it back out. This cover was made by actually an artist that I met at New York Comic Con, Argentinian artist, who stopped by the table and we started talking, and you know, we just kind of hit it off. And he did this cover for me. So yeah, the book is on sale now. You guys can pick it up. You can go to my website, getyourmeds.com, or you can go to asapimagination.com and pick up a copy there.
Very cool. Thank you,
yes,
brother.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I hope you're doing well. How long has this been available?
It actually, I launched it last month. This is a copy of the book. It's nice, thick book. It's in full color. So yeah, it's I'm going the wrong way. It's doing
show
well.
that up again. Put that up again, baby.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is
Look
the
at
book.
that. Yeah. Oh, that's some girth right there, bro.
Lossy. Whoa, easy.
We're about making this uncomfortable.
It's in full color. You did that since I got on the show. Talking about how you like my body and stuff. I was like, whoa, that's weird.
Good job, kid. You're looking good, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Good, baby. Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm still okay. I was like, well, I'm still large. Yeah, so that's
Oh,
Russ 537 in a nutshell, man.
This is a nice panel setup. I didn't see this before.
Oh,
Oh, I
boy.
like this. This fills out the screen a hell of a lot better. Shit. Love you, StreamYard. All right. Okay. Okay. We had a few more people that joined us. Tony, what's up, Papa? I hope everything's going well with your campaign. All right. Besides Russ 357, we also have something
5377.
5377. What did I say?
377 something. I don't know.
377.
Definitely not
Turned
the
it
right
into
number.
like a zip code or something.
Like 10701. I don't know what you said.
That post office slip right there.
210.
Post office.
It is. It is. Those numbers just trail off of my head. So I wanna say to Marvin, you see, I didn't put you first this time, bro. Okay, I let somebody else
That
go
was
first.
cool. I mean, I like to be second, third, fourth.
Okay.
I don't have to be first.
All right. So you want to tell everybody? We've showed the Edge pre-launch page a few times. You want to let everybody know when it's going to be launching?
This should be launching the end of August. I'm probably going to just go ahead and do it on the 24th for my birthday and see what happens.
Very nice.
I'll turn 50 that day, and then it's all downhill as I assume from then.
That's facts. That's facts, Marvin. I'm sorry. That's facts.
But this is the Kickstarter for the Volume 2 trade, Reign of Chaos.
Okay.
This is the kickoff of the bad things happening. So the first 4 issues, bad things happen. The next issue, more bad things are going to happen. There's going to be more bad things happening. So no good things ever happen when you have these powers that drive people insane and kill them. So this is our new lead villain, Chaos, and as you can see, he is infected by the Edge. This is why his skin is turning colors.
Okay.
He's using the powers recklessly. Doesn't give a damn.
And how many pages is volume 2 going to be?
This is 165 pages.
Okay.
Yeah, about 100. Yeah. So there, as before, there's going to be some extra new stuff in there. We did previews of some of the one shots in the first volume. This one will have that too. These will only be available in the Kickstarter. Okay. So the regular trade going to retail and other places will not have those extra pages.
All right. Cool, man. And how long are you going to run the campaign for?
For 6 years.
Yes, blow Tom's dates.
You might have a little dead period on year 3.
Yeah. That dead period might last 25 years, 11 months.
Yep, right. What? Oh, you're gonna try to beat my time.
Nice. All right. I'm surprised Tom doesn't have something going on this week. He has
2 weeks. 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks.
2 weeks from
Which
today.
specialty day is it? Or is it one of the critter books?
No, it's our anthology, our annual celebratory anthology.
BDI 15?
14.
14.
Yeah. Now we will be also celebrating Cow Appreciation Day and Lollipop Day during the campaign, but we launch on the 13th, which is nothing special.
I love it. Oh, I want to let everybody know who's watching. The links for Russ and for Edge are in the comments right now. So if you want to support these creators, please just jump on those links.
So the characters will be joining the Lollipop Guild, is what you're saying?
Well, we'll have a setup link for next weekend, and then
then
we can talk some more about it.
And somebody who is a bit bigger than a lollipop over here.
Yes.
Okay.
5 days left. Fully funded.
5 days fully funded. 200-page trade paperback. The Oswald Chronicles. My Time with Clive. Oswald's time in Dream rescues a baby who is enslaved by some demons, and he promises to take this baby and return him to his parents. The baby just happens to be a Cyclops and also an angel. So those are just some side notes.
I love a combo. Yeah.
There you go.
And it's all black and white.
It's all in black and white. It's 200 pages. And like I said, there's a bunch of madness in there. We have Jade Gonzalez, who's a series regular artist. If you keep scrolling, you're going to see something by Luigi Terrell. This was by Luigi Terrell. And then if you keep scrolling there, and we also have at the end of this one, we have Daphne. So she also did a story in the book. So yeah, it's a 200-page graphic novel. Bunch of madness going on. Oswald having all these crazy adventures and various different stories being told all at the same time. So if you like, Vertigo comics, Red Wall, Secretive Nim, that sort of thing, you might want to check this out.
Okay. Last Unicorn.
Last Unicorn. Yep. Mm-hmm. What is that? Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. What's the one with the farm?
Animal Farm.
Yes, Animal Farm. There you go.
Wait, Animal Farm? I thought it was Watership Down. No?
Those are both. Those are two. Animal Farm is one, Watership Down is the other. But yeah, if you like either one of those, you might enjoy this too as well.
What about the Little Toaster? No.
Charlotte's Web.
Charlotte's Web. The Little Toast. Listen, man, don't goof on the Little Toaster. That was a
No,
good
no,
movie.
that was not a goof. That was a question. I've never seen it because I hear how depressing it is. I've stayed away from it.
It's a good movie. No, it's not depressing.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to take any more movie recommendations from you or Tom ever again. You got to understand that.
Why?
Okay. Because I saw fucking Laser Blast, you bastard.
But Jay still seems to think that my whole post was, why don't anybody know what the fuck this movie is? At no point did I ever say everyone needs to watch this movie. Like that never ever happened. Jay, you took that upon yourself.
Right. And he did tell you, watch the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes. That's what he told you.
Okay. I saw Laser Blast, and you know what it was? I saw the whole fucking thing, and it was a porn without the boobs and bush. That's what it was, bro.
Wow.
It was shot the same way on the same multi-used sound sets, sound stages, whatever, in Studio City, California. And I'm just like, oh my God, man. I'm waiting for one of the 1980s porn stars to pop up in this flick, bro, as a cameo.
They didn't have enough budget for that, dude. They spent all their budget. Listen, they spent all their budget on the first 15 and the last 15 with all the spaceships and the stuff.
I don't believe that. I think they were in there. I just don't think they had enough money to pay them to take off their clothes.
Well, I recommended last week you guys watch Trendsetters, which is on Amazon. And I want to apologize to anyone who did go to watch it because I saw it after I recommended it, and I was kicking myself in the ass because, oh my God, it was so bad. It was so bad. And then they recommended a movie for me that I thought was something else. I always thought the Dolph Lundgren movie was called I Come in Peace.
Yeah, it's I Come in Peace, and there's another name.
It's called Dark Angel, apparently.
Yeah, Dark Angel. Yeah.
Right, that's the guy. When the
but
guy
I Come in Peace was called that too.
Yeah, it's the same movie.
It was called that, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They changed the name when it went to video, I think.
But I saw it on video. I didn't see it in the movies.
Really? So did they change it when it went to streaming?
Maybe. That's happened. I mean, even Disney's changed their titles of their stuff when it's gone to streaming.
I mean, this is a movie from the 80s. So, I mean, Lord knows what happened between here and there.
So the one you should be watching is Screamer with Peter Weller. You need to watch that movie.
What are you doing, Marvin? What are you doing?
Screamers with Peter Weller.
Yes.
I don't.
Hey, listen, if you're also gonna go catch Atlantic Rim.
Oh my God!
It's the sequel to Pacific Rim.
I know that's bad.
And then after you watch Screamers, watch Leviathan. There you go. Gotcha.
I like Leviathan. Don't tear that up. It's with the guy from The Mummy. That he was also in Lord of Illusions. What's his name? And
not Scott Bakula.
Jean Grey. Yeah, no.
That's Deep Rising. That's Deep Rising. Leviathan is Peter Weller and Ernie Hudson.
Oh, that's the one with the Spanish guy from Batteries Are Not Included.
Yes.
And Ernie Hudson. Okay. I'm sorry, I confused them. Okay.
We need to cut all of this segment out because no one should be watching any of these movies.
Are you kidding me? I want to double down. What was the movie with Tom Selleck and Gene Simmons?
Oh, Jesus Christ. No one needs to know.
Come on. You know what I'm talking about, Tom.
No, I don't.
You know what I'm talking about.
I don't, and I don't want that information. I don't want that information.
I told you what it is. It's Runaway.
Is it a horror film?
It was a sci-fi thriller type of deal.
Yeah.
Where Gene Simmons did two movies. One where he was a terrorist, and the other one where he was the bad guy, future terrorist.
The terrorist one was Never Too Young to Die with John Stamos. That's horrible.
Yeah. Go watch Galaxy. Go watch Galaxy of
Marvin.
Terror. There you go.
It's freaking hilarious.
Fuck
though.
the time with John Stamos.
He plays a transvestite named Ragnar.
Wow.
Whoa. Okay.
It's so horrible.
Okay. No, see, but these 80s came out with some gems, bro. 80s came out with some gems.
Yeah. Go watch
Oh my
Galaxy
God.
of Terror. That's one of them.
one?
Galaxy of Terror.
Robert Englund's in that, right? That's Robert.
Yep.
Englund.
Robert Englund is in that movie. Yeah. Yeah. And the girl who played from Happy Days, she was in it.
Joni?
Really?
The sister.
Joni.
Yeah. She was in it.
Most of these movies are on Tubi, so just
Aaron
turn on
Gray.
Tubi.
Oh, I don't remember the young lady.
Yeah.
All you have to do, start a movie on Tubi, and it'll take you all the way down the road. Because whenever the movie ends, it picks a new one.
Tubi
and
is
it
the
takes you
worst
down a
rabbit hole producer of all time. Yeah.
Rabbit hole
Yeah.
forever. never stops.
Mhm.
But these are good movies, bro. The 80s came out with so many coke-fueled fucking pieces of cinema, bro. You know, come on. We just came up with some gems. Come on. Somebody in chat help me out. What was the name of the movie with Tom Selleck and Gene Simmons? It was
It's like 6.5. Runaway.
Runaway.
Yes.
Yes.
I just watched it the other day. It was on the other day.
You see, Marvin. That's why you're always on first on my show, bro. Because you get my movies, right?
So
If we left it up to Tom,
Kirstie Alley's in that movie too.
who?
Kirstie Alley's in that movie too.
Yes, yes. Before Cheers. Oh my God. See, if we left it up to Tom, he'd be telling us to go watch Underground Paris or Underwater Paris right now.
No, I told you not to watch that either. I was very clear. Don't watch that shitty
Like,
shark movie.
Since last week, 6 more shark movies came out though. There was like
Holy
6
shit.
It's like 6 new movies. Like can we
Listen,
can we
I'm
do a
very
horror
serious. I made a joke with somebody once on a podcast that I was like, I'm gonna make a podcast called Friday Fish Fry and just talk shark movies because there's 8,000 of these fucking movies, and they're wildly ranging in quality.
Okay, give what are they? What are they? Let's go. Let's hear it.
You want some shark movies?
Let's hear it.
Okay,
Bait.
I'm gonna give you one. Listen, in all seriousness, this is one everybody should watch. All right, I was talked into it. I was coerced into it, but I was like, motherfucker, this is great. It's called Ghost Shark. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now you all are already imagining all the amazing things about this movie, but the great part about it is that it bought into its premise 100%. It was like, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it. This is going to be a fucking great, terrible movie. And it is a great, terrible movie. So this shark, right? It's a ghost. It literally is a ghost. It's a ghost shark, but it can only get you from the water. Okay. So like it starts out, it's out and the ghost is swimming around in the ocean, right? Of course. But then, and I'm only going to give you one scene because it's great, and the rest of it you have to watch, right? So there's a shot where these kids are sliding around on a slip and slide, right? And they're sliding around, and then there's one chubby kid gets up and he takes his turn and he jumps on the slide, and the camera turns around and you watch him sliding down the slide, and coming the other way is the shark and eats this kid sliding down the slip and slide. It's hysterical. It's hysterical. So
But the ghost shark.
the ghost shark eats the kid. Yes, because he's a
How does
ghost.
he eat the kid? He doesn't slide right through.
No, he eats the kid.
He's a ghost.
He eats the kid. You have to watch the movie. I'm telling you, this is a good one. Like, I'm going to give you a list of shit, and I'm going to tell you to watch Ghost Shark. Okay, go watch Ghost Shark. But
this is
the list of shit.
Question.
The list of shit includes Raiders of the Lost Shark, Noah's Shark, Shark Encounters of the Third Kind. All right.
I like that name.
There's one it's horribly bad called Atomic Shark, right? It's a radioactive shark. But there's a hysterical scene where a kid is, I don't know if it's a kid, it's a guy, he's buried in the sand and his head is sticking up. And the shark comes out of the water and gets the guy and just explodes. Just blows his head up. Like, oh my God, that's great. But the rest of the movie is shit. So I'm giving you the shit and I'm telling you watch Ghost Shark.
All right. Let me ask this. Since you're the shark expert here. All right. Zombie versus shark.
Yeah.
The dude
they fight underwater. Yeah.
Right. He legitimately fought a real shark down there?
Yeah, so far as I understand it, yes.
Nothing happened to him.
Apparently not. I'll tell you this, though. Burt Reynolds did a movie called Shark where they had guys diving for treasure or something, right? And in that movie, they had real sharks. And in that movie, one of the actors was attacked by one of the sharks.
Oh.
In that movie, they filmed that attack, and that motherfucker died. And that scene is in the movie.
Oh, wow.
Snuff film.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Literally. Wow.
So yeah, so the director was like, "Yeah, that sucks, but go ahead and leave the footage in."
He signed the waiver.
He signed. That's right. He signed the waiver. Put the footage in. Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
All right, the guy dies. What happens if one of your collaborators dies in the middle of making a project?
What?
What do you do?
Cry.
What do you do?
How did I give you the greatest segue of all time?
Jesus
Christ. Listen, that's a what do you do?
What if your
You're
artist is
invested.
eaten by a shark
Right.
while he's on vacation between issues?
You get that shark to finish the book because he's got his power. Like if you eat something, you get its power, right?
That's right. So that shark knows how to draw now.
Right?
Wait, Jay, that's a serious question? You really-
I mean, listen, the answer is famously.
That is not a serious question.
I don't know how many people
Why
know
would
this.
you even ask?
That's a serious
It's a question. It's not a serious one, though.
It's just a question.
There's a Frankenstein book out
A
that
dumb one,
Bernie
but it's
Wrightson
fine.
did, right? And Bernie did the first, I think, 4 or 5 issues, whatever it was, and then he died.
Yeah.
But before he died, he had laid out the final issue, and his last will and testament or whatever, he was like, "Give this to Kelly Jones, and let Kelly Jones finish it off of my roughs or whatever."
Batman Kelly Jones?
Yeah, Batman Kelly Jones. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How many other Kelly Jones are there?
And so, so that book was finished by Kelly Jones. He did the last issue off of Wrightson's roughs or layouts or whatever. So, the show must go on, as they say.
There you go, bro. That's why you're paying.
Wow.
That's fair. The next time someone's like, "Well, I need to get paid," I'll be like, "Well, you might die."
You could die, right?
What happens if you die?
Right. Oh,
For all those people.
I brought that up because I felt that. I felt that. Oh my God, you guys! All right, new Batman vs Shark movie coming out.
Oh, Shark Night! Oh, Shark Night,
Night.
Duro! I have to split that with you. I'm taking that Shark Night. I will give you some percentage. I will come up with some percentage for you, my friend. Shark Night is now officially trademarked Tom Hutchison.
Is he going to go up against Critter? Is he going to be a spinoff? Is he the bad guy? What's up?
You'll have to wait and see, won't you?
Oh,
same Shark time, same Shark channel.
I remember the one cliffhanger where Burt Ward was getting his leg eaten by a shark, and was it a shark or a clam?
Well, no, in the movie Batman got attacked by the shark, but in the TV show he was getting eaten by a clam. Yeah,
he was getting eaten by a clam. Okay,
but they did it. Didn't they have shark repellent? They had
in the movie they did, yeah, but they didn't have clam repellent apparently.
But I'm pumped. And on that, before we dive any further down into depravity, guys, we ran about an hour and a half tonight, just under. I want to thank everybody who joined us for the evening to talk smack, to engage us in this conversation. And if you are catching us on the restream, please leave a comment, say what's up. We want to hear what you think about the hilarity and then some of the important stuff that went down tonight. All right.
I don't think anything important happened.
The what happened?
I don't think anything important happened tonight.
What are you talking about? We had great engaging conversation tonight. Get out of here.
You know what? We entertained ourselves, but I don't think anything important happened.
Oh, look what Duro's doing. He's making a whole universe. Catfish woman. Yes. Dude, Catfish woman. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
This is brilliant.
Catfish woman. There you go.
This is brilliant.
Oh my God.
I just went Spanish. I
She's
just
a
went
chick, she's a
Spanish.
chick that's online and she's catfishing, dude. This catfish woman. This is
God.
amazing
Only my
stuff.
Spanish people would know this.
Amazing stuff.
The bacalaita would be her sidekick, I guess. I
Wow.
know, right? That's bad. It was tasteless. If you're Spanish, you know what I mean. Shark movies are lame. Ooh,
Oh,
Fighting
damn.
words.
those are fighting words. So we're gonna ask. We're gonna start from Tom on our way up as we exit. Tom, you want to let everybody know where they can find you and whatever else you want to talk about sharks on.
It's all right here. Everything's swirling around right here. Big Dog Inc., BigDogInc.com. We're on all the socials, guys. We do Patreon, TikTok, all those things. So come find us. And then 2 weeks from today, July 13th, we launched the BD14 anthology. And I'll be doing a live show on Monday with Lori Calcaterra, where we're going to talk about it live for the first time.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice. Calderon.
TheOwlsWithChronicles.com, TallTalesOnline.com, Twitter, Facebook, all those different places. Tomorrow night, we will be back, talking to a bunch of different creators. Jay will be there. George will be there. Unfortunately, Marvin and Tom will not be there. But, in a couple weeks, I will have. Look, man, the room is booked. I'm sorry. Right? I got freaking 9 people coming. It's
People want to see us. They want to see us, bro.
You see what just happened in this show? This was intensity.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Come on, man. They want to see us, bro. All right.
Next
cool.
time.
George.
Find me at getyourmeds.com. That is my handle on Instagram. I'm mostly there. I'm also on Facebook and all the social media, like the guys are saying. Pick up a copy of Ross 5377 on my website. And I wanted to actually give a shout out to the artist of the cover. His name is Santiago Paquin. He is from Argentina. He's also on social media. So check out my website. You can check out some of his stuff there too. And tomorrow, like JD said, I will be on his show talking more about, the indie industry and everything we're doing. So, and check out Catch the Craze as well on Tuesday nights live.
Marvin.
Why am I last now again? Now I'm first.
Oh my God, you made a big deal about being first. Now you're last. Come on.
I had to say something. So, find me online, theedgecomic.com, comicsbird.com, and hit up that Substack because we're going to be releasing some fun stuff in a couple weeks. What?
I'm sorry.
Rises
rises to the surface. Okay, that was bad. I'm sorry. I should have put up after you, Marvin. I apologize. But you want to drop that last line again, brother?
Oh, on the Substack. So we'll have it's the Edge comic on Substack. So check it out. Going to have some fun stuff coming out this next couple weeks on the Substack.
Nice. And this is where you can find me. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. Later.